dropping all my badges. There's books that are 5 stars, okay? And then there's books that are 5 stars, you know?
Books and coffee, that's all I need. Lost in a world of fantasy. Oh, indeed, from sci-fi thrillers to romance tales and horror stories that make me wail.
Hi lovelies, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Hermie and I put out bookish videos and do reading and productivity sprints every week here on my channel. What's this video going to be about? It is a little bit of a recap, a little bit of an update. I've been a little bit all over the place recently for several reasons I'm just going to quickly go over, and this is also going to be a Readathin wrap up, I guess, because I took part in Readathin, which is a readathon run by the lovely Donna mariereads and Manda the Biblio. It's a bingo board style readathon focused on thinning down your TBR and also some sort of self-care stuff. Without further ado, let's roll the tape. To thank anyone who is sticking around with me here on this channel, whether you watch my videos, hang out in my sprints, chat to me through any other means. I really appreciate you and always will. Okay, so I just want to start this by talking about a video I posted a few weeks ago. It was a very raw, unedited, couple of minutes long, talking about that I was struggling at the moment, and apart from a couple of things that I didn't want to back out of, I was going to take a break, and I have been doing that. I have been picking and choosing what I'm participating in, trying to make sure that I'm finding a balance and refilling my cup as I need to. With hindsight, I should have backed out of the things that I kept on my plate. I made some mistakes, and there were some very difficult situations that happened, and I am sorry to anyone who has been let down in the process of these things happening. I would like to hopefully draw a line under it now and move forward, focus on myself, my channel, you guys. Yeah, hanging out with you guys is the main goal here, so I'm going to keep doing that. So Readathin. What is Readathin about? It is a month-long readathon, and I will, of course, link in the description the announcement video for it, just so you can get an idea of. You can still join the Discord, take part in the weekend, 72-hour weekends that Donna does every month, and you could join in the next time because this happens every so often. So I would highly recommend checking this one out. Okay, so I'm going to quickly go over the prompts and let you know what I did for each thing. There are a couple of prompts left which I will be doing with you guys today in this video. So first of all, the first prompt is self-care day. I have had to do a few of them recently. I think the main thing that I did for that was just taking time for myself. I spoke to Matt and we figured out a way to make it so that I couldn't do like a whole day in one go, but I sort of like did a couple of hours here, a couple of hours there. So it's worked out as a full day. I spend time on my own, thinking, journaling, napping, doing the things that I needed to do to refill my cup, so they say. The next prompt is finish your current read, and my current read when I started this month was, at the beginning of this month, was The Last Hour Between Worlds by Melissa Caruso. This was a book that I was reading for Paula over at Family and Books Book Club, Pleasure Yourself, and I needed to read this for the live show because I was co-hosting it with her. This was a 2-star for me. I really just didn't vibe with this at all. I was really annoyed by the main character. I felt like she was moany and acted like she was the only person that had ever given birth before. And I mean, this was definitely a me. I think it was just the mood that I was in when I read it, because no one else gave that sort of feedback at all about this book. So I feel like maybe it was just the wrong time for me, but it is definitely something that I don't like. I don't enjoy in books is, what do you call it, postnatal situation, unless it's in a horror setting. For some reason, I vibe with it there, but in fantasy, not really for me. Not really for me. And I don't know why. I can't really put my finger on it. It's just a weird little thing that my brain doesn't like. Next is declutter or clean something. The thing that I chose to declutter and clean was my bedroom. I did this over the weekend. It coincided with Donna's 72-hour readathon. The next one was read a book off your own shelves, and for this I read Dearest by Jacquie. It is a book that I got from Book of the Month. I did for a little while get Book of the Month books because I love them, but I had to cancel because they don't actually ship to the UK, so I had to pay for a locker service, and it just wasn't cost effective. It just didn't make sense for me to carry on doing that for now. So one of my reading goals this year is to read all of the books that I have left that I haven't read from Book of the Month, which is a few. This one was a 5-star read. It is a horror. This one is where I figured out that a postnatal situation in horror works for me. This was a really interesting horror to me because there was some supernatural, there was some family stuff happening, there was some is it real, is it not stuff happening, is there mental health stuff happening. There was a lot going on with this one, but it was for such a short book, it was under 300 pages, but it really packed a punch. I really enjoyed this one, so I would recommend it if you check it out and think, yeah, that looks good. Okay, so for the do something creative, I have been working on Canva to do different like thumbnails and things like that, which is really creative for me, and also my bullet journal. I have been working on that quite a lot this month. Next is read a book for Black History Month. Well, I started to read Black on Both Sides, a racial history of the trans identity, and this I was really excited for when I came across it. It sounded right up my street, but I ended up DNF it. I think I was about 35% of the way through. I will give it a go again another time, but for now it is a DNF. For the simple fact that it was a very high level written. It read like a textbook for uni, and it sort of skirted around the arguments a lot, so I had real trouble pinpointing what it was actually trying to tell me, and I just wasn't in a situation to be able to take it in and give it the time that it deserves in order to understand it, so I ended up DNFing it for now. Next was date night, and it doesn't have to be with a romantic partner, it can be with a friend, it can be with yourself. Yeah, so I had a mate date with Paula, and I mean Paula lives about 100 miles away, but we played on our Switch. We visited each other's Animal Crossing islands, and it was super fun. It's the first time I've done anything like that, and it was just so fun. We went for coffee at the museum. I took a whole load of supplies back to my island from Paula's island that she had that I don't have yet, because my island's a relatively new one still. And yeah, it was a good time. Next is a book that is forgotten on your shelf or e-reader. I think I'm gonna go with Holes by Louis Sachar. A bunch of people will know what I'm talking about with this book. There is a film adaptation for it as well. It's just a little short book, 240 pages. It's a middle grade, and it's been on my e-reader for years and not been read. And honestly, it would have only got read this month because it got pulled out in Booktionary, and I don't even know how it got on my e-reader. I genuinely thought that Matt put it there, and he swears that he didn't. So I don't even know how it got there. So I think this counts. The next prompt is Cozy Reading Night, and this coincides with the 72-hour readathon, so I've actually had quite a few cozy reading nights because I do love them. They're my favourite thing to do. I've got some B-roll that I'll insert here of me with my candle on and chilling cozy in my room. Yeah, it is fun. I will do this whenever, wherever. Next prompt is a book in a series. I picked Faebound for this one. It is a reread for me, but the next book, Cursebound, came out, and honestly, I gave this 5 stars last year, and I love it so much. I need to change my rating system. I need to make it so that I have a higher rating than 5, because 5 is like, there's books that are 5 stars, okay, and then there's books that are 5 stars, you get me? Okay, moving on. Next we have dice roll, daily dice roll equals your reading time. For this, I haven't officially done this myself because Donna very kindly used dice rolls for her sprints this month. So then it just meant that if you turned up to a sprint, you're knocking off 2 birds with 1 stone. You're going to a sprint and you're doing the dice rolls. And it was deciding how long we were reading for each sprint. So that was fun. It was a nice way to do it. And honestly, I'll probably do that again because it was fun changing up the time. Normally I'm very much a give me as long as possible, but actually I saw the value in some shorter sprints, some longer sprints. It kept me on my toes, kept me motivated, kept me going. I liked it. Next is a book from a previous TBR list. I picked Faebound for this one as well, just because it has been on a previous TBR list. I have obviously read it before. I think this prompt is probably trying to get you to read books that you've been putting off, but I cheated. I don't care. I don't care. Okay, this is what I did. Deal with it. Next is a free space. So I honestly, I forget about the free spaces. I don't do anything for them. I don't know if I'm supposed to, honestly. I get a bit confused about free spaces. I need rules and, I need someone to tell me what to do. Okay. Next, we have play a game. I could have picked Animal Crossing for this one that we did on my mate date with Paula, but I have also been playing a bit of Candy Crush recently again because I hadn't for a while. So I think I'm going to put Candy Crush down for this one. Next is book on your TBR you've been avoiding. You know what? There's not many books that I actively avoid.
Stop lying.
But probably Holes. And actually, no, I'm going to pick out of the ones that I've read this month. I'm going to pick The Shadow Box by Luann Rice because this one, I know how this got on my e-reader. It was one of them 99p purchases. Something grabbed my attention about it. I whacked it on the e-reader, and ever since I've just been a bit like, not really gonna, I'm probably never going to read that. And again, it came out in my Booktionary game. I've had to read it this month, and you know what? It was 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. It was a good, solid mystery thriller. It kept me engrossed the whole way through. It was one of them that I sort of read until I was falling asleep and then picked it straight back up again in the morning. It was a good time. I would recommend this one. Okay, next is Read a Banned Book, which fit perfectly with the Sibs Book Club, which I run with my friend Beatrice over at Beatrice's Book Nook. Again, everything's linked in the description box below if you want to check it out. The way we're running the Sibs Book Club is every 3 months we have a different theme for the books that we're picking, and in that 3 months I'll pick a book, Beatrice will pick a book, and then everyone in the book club picks the 3rd book. And this first quarter of the year we are doing banned books. We read Persepolis for January, and then this month we are reading, Beatrice picked Red Rising, so this is my banned book for February, and it ticks that box. Honestly, if you haven't read Red Rising, honestly, you don't even need to be in sci-fi to vibe with this one. It has very thriller feels to it, honestly. It's very bang, 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 bang. And it happens in this book. Don't ask me what happens, because so much happens. Honestly, I have done a spoilery reading vlog for this one. For my Hermiville memberships, the top tier get a personalised spoilery reading vlog every month, and they picked Red Rising to be this month's. So I have done that. If that's a selling point to you, then feel free to check out the memberships. Okay, the next one is participate in reading sprints. I have done this, as you can see. There's b-roll for this. I take part in a lot of sprints. I enjoy sprints. So the next prompt is read a book towards your 2025 reading goals. I think I'm gonna go with Warbreaker because I'm reading the Cosmere with my friend Livia over at Livia Crafts and Book. She has just hit 100 subs and I am so proud of her. Again, I'll link her in the description box below. Please check her out if you haven't already. She does fabulous videos and she also does sprints too. So if you are a sprinter like me, feel free to join us on Tuesday mornings for sprints on Livia's channel. But we read Warbreaker this month, and it was kind of one of them, like I literally just been messaging Livia and saying I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it work this month. I just don't know, can we put it off for next month? And she was like, yeah, that's fine, no worries. And then the next thing I know, we're reading it and we're having the best time ever. It is a 5-star for me. It's one of my favourite Brandon Sandersons that I've read so far. And yeah, I just love it. I just love it. It was a reread for me, but it was a reread and I'd completely forgotten everything that happened. So that was fun. Okay, next you are going to see some lovely B-roll footage of me taking a lovely walk with Matthew. The prompt is get some fresh air. I do try to get fresh air even if it is just having my window open every day. But today I managed to get out of the house. We went for a little walk. I did some of my physio. Matt was shouting out different things to do, like different movements to do to get my ankle and leg moving and practicing the movements, keeping the movements going. And it was fun. It was a good time.
Now do breakdance.
It was only maybe a 15-minute walk, but you know what? I'll take it. I'll take it. I was glad to be out of the house. Next is read a book with a water-related word on the cover. In the title, sorry, not on the cover. Dead Lake. I read Dead Lake by Darcy Coates. This is another little horror shorty, 243 pages. And I think it's only the second Darcy Coates book that I've read, but I've thoroughly enjoyed. I gave this one 5 stars. It had all of the creepy vibes that I love in a horror, and there was some supernatural stuff as well. I'm kind of vibing with the supernatural at the moment. Can you tell? Can you tell? Okay, next we have Make a Spring Hopefuls list, and I'm going to insert that here. I'm about to do that after I finish filming this bit, and then I'll splice it together because, you know, I can't just hide the fact that I'm editing a video. Okay, hi guys. So this is my Spring Hopefuls list. I'm just going to quickly go through it with you and tell you what I know about them. Some of these books have been on my list for a little while. Some of them I picked up pretty blind, so I might not have a lot of information for you, but I will at least tell you why they're on my Spring Hopefuls list. So first we have Godkiller, which actually is just a reread. So it's not, I don't have to reread it again, but it's so that I can finally get to Sunbringer. Because if you've been watching my videos for a while, you'll know that I've had this since it came out and I have been too scared to get to it. And I really need to get to it because the 3rd book will be out shortly. And I need to know. I need to just bite the bullet and just find out what the hell happens to everybody. And I just hope the ones that I love the most survive. I hope. Anyway, next we have Cabaret Macabre by Tom Mead. Again, if you've watched any of my earlier videos, you'll know that I interviewed Tom Mead earlier on when I first started my channel. I've read all of his books so far and really love them, but I just recently got his next book that's coming out, I think in August, on NetGalley, so I need to, not that I have to read them in order, but I want to. Next we have The Bound Worlds by Megan E. O'Keefe, and this is the 3rd in a trilogy. Can't remember what the trilogy's called. The Devoured Worlds trilogy. I read these last year. I got Matt to read them with me and he vibed with it too. So I really need to finally get round to the 3rd and final installment of this series. Next I have Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. This was gifted to me by the lovely Claire over at Claire's Creative Corner. I will link her in the description box below. Claire was kind enough to give this to me along with the other title by this author. I've read the other title, but I haven't read this one yet, and I cannot wait. Next, we have The Simple Wild by K.A.Tucker. I can't remember why this ended up on my shelf, honestly, and I don't know if I'm going to vibe with it at all. I think I was looking at the time for like romance recs that were something more than romance, maybe. I don't know. I'm hoping. Because otherwise I might not vibe with it. But we'll see. We'll find out if I actually flip and read it. Next, we have Half-Assed Human by Lena Norms. This is a signed edition. Sorry, she wrote the loveliest little message as well. It's so sweet. But anyway, Lena Norms is a fellow YouTuber. This is her book, How to Live Better Without Burning Out. I need to read it. And I feel like the cover works for spring, right? Yeah, it's definitely a spring inspired cover. And then we have Les Mis. This doorstop. This literally arrived today. I have no idea. I didn't order it. And there's no note with it, so I don't think it's someone gifting it to me. I don't know. I mean, it is my birthday in March. I don't think anybody said they were sending anything early. So I don't know. Maybe I sleep bought it. But I do have the cloth bound edition because Matt bought me the cloth bound edition and I'm reading it with Didi as she is having a read along. I will link it in the description box below. It is a year-long thing. And it's only recently started. So you could easily catch up if you wanted to, or you could just read it at your own pace. It's entirely up to you. But I would quite like to just sit and read it over a few days. I think I was gonna follow the plan, but I don't think I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna rebel, and I think I'm gonna sit and read it over a few days, just because I've read the first like 100 pages or so, and really am loving the experience of it so far. That is my spring hopefuls list. Next is Read a Sweet Book. For this, I'm counting Faebound again. But honestly, I could also count Green Teeth by Molly O'Neill. That was a historical fantasy that's only just come out, but I had it on NetGalley and it was quite a sweet vibe. Another one was Loveless by Alice Oseman. That was a good time. That was 5 stars for me. My Neighbour Totoro, the film comic, all in one edition. I read that with Isabel and that was sweet and lovely. Next is Make an Ins and Outs list, and I'm going to insert that here.
Books and coffee, that's all I need. Lost in a world of fantasy. Oh, indeed, from sci-fi thrillers to romance tales and horror stories that make me wail. I'm a book hermit, part of the BookTube crew, sharing my thoughts, connecting me and you. With every page a new adventure awaits, a community bound by the love we create. Grab a cup of joe, let's dive into a story. Pages turning, hearts soaring, feeling the glory. Books and caffeine, my ultimate delight. Pages and coffee, taking flight day and night. Dusty shelves, a treasure trove untold. Hidden gems just waiting to unfold. Whispering secrets, beckoning me near. Lost in a labyrinth with no cause for fear. TBR pile, ever growing, never tall. A challenge I face, enthralling them all. Classics and debuts, side by side they stand. Each one a promise held in my hand. Grab a cup of joe, let's dive into a story. Pages turning, hearts soaring, feeling the glory. Books and caffeine, my ultimate delight. Pages and coffee, taking flight day and night. The world may rush, but here I find peace. A quiet escape, worries all released. Characters become friends, both old and new. In fictional worlds, my dreams come true. Reviews and hauls, unboxings galore. Sharing books.
Then it's Read a Book you bought on a whim. Well, lots of books count for that. Honestly, I'm going to count Guillotine by Delilah S. Dawson for that one because I've read one other Delilah S. Dawson before, and I bought this one not knowing anything about it other than I vibed with the last book by this author, and that's it. And I liked the cover too. It's got this pretty pink and red cover. Don't let it deceive you. It's dark. And I loved it. Gave it 4 stars. And the last prompt is watch something. So me and Matt don't watch a lot of TV, to be honest. We tend to like stick Schitt's Creek on or Brooklyn Nine-Nine as we're falling asleep, and literally fall asleep watching it within 5-10 minutes usually. But we will be watching Coles together. I hoped to do that the same weekend that I read it actually, but we fell asleep before it could happen. But also we have been watching some true crime stuff, but not like death and gore type. We watched a series about, I can't remember her name, but she pretended that she had cancer and she set up this app, healthy food app thing, saying that she cured herself with healthy food, and it was all a scam basically. We watched that one, and we watched what was the one we just watched? How have I forgotten already? It was really good as well. It was about it was like a dating app, but it was for people that wanted to cheat, and they got hacked, and all the information, all the private information of the people that had signed up got released, and all sorts of drama ensued as part of that, and that was quite interesting to watch. So we watched them. As you can see, I have all of my badges. I got my self-care, I got my full bingo board, got my reader award, and I got my single line bingo, which I actually don't know at what point I got that, but I got a full board by the end of the month, so I'll take it. Okay, if you enjoyed this video, please give it the thumbs up, maybe share it with a friend, and if you made it this far, put a rose or a flower emoji in the comments to let me know that you stuck it out till the end. Thank you so much if you did. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Love you, bye.
Bye, love you.
Hello, 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 is it me you're looking for? Sachar? Holes, anyway, because I ain't hiding it real good.
I'm a book hermit, part of the BookTube crew, sharing my thoughts, connecting me and you. With every page a new adventure awaits, a community bound by the love we create. Grab a cup of